Hey, welcome back everyone to Building in Public, Day 14 with Jason at Commercial Legal. The topic of today's show would be how long does it take for SEO to actually start showing some results? This is something that's based purely on my own experience working with law firms and getting them leads as well as traffic to the website. And hopefully, if you're a lawyer or a law firm yourself, this video will be helpful to sort of allow you to get a better understanding of when you could actually get results. If you're an agency owner and you're doing SEO for law firms or other professional services, this would be helpful as well for the same reasons. And if you're just a small business, um, I'm sure the timeline will also be relevant to you, and especially in relation to all the actions that are required for the timeline to be achieved. So, before we talk about the main topic, let's go through what happened yesterday and today, as well as my main business learning. And then we'll talk about the main topic. And then lastly, we'll answer some questions on my YouTube channel. If you're not interested in the first two parts, you could just skip ahead using the chapters in the description below the video. Otherwise, I'll keep going. So, what happened yesterday and today? Yesterday, I reached out to a candidate for the full time position of the legal SEO researcher and writer. So I actually already hired one recently. I hired a full time writer, but this is another candidate who actually submitted the interest a few weeks ago. But due to some reason or another, we didn't really find each other the right fit. But I reached out to him again because I think it's good to have him on the team, especially when we are anticipating additional work and new clients in the next, hopefully, 4 to 8 weeks. So I reached out to him. He's very happy to start. I just need to give him two assessment tasks, which I need to set up after the video. The first assessment task is getting him to write 3 articles for us. And this is for me to assess just how well he can write articles, the factual accuracy, and whether he can understand and follow the SOPs and processes that we've established at Commercial Legal. And the second assessment task relates to an additional responsibility that I'm thinking he can take on, which is finding and compiling. So the second assessment task will be finding and compiling 13 uh, new topics on the particular practice area for which the 3 articles will be written for. The 13 topics that he thinks should be written for this law firm the next month. So the purpose of that task is to see whether he's able to synthesize and understand the 3 articles that he'll be writing, so the practice area that he'll be writing the 3 articles for, and then digging deeper and seeing whether there are any, what kind of topics should be written that's beyond just a surface level sort of topic. So when you start writing articles, from my experience, you start understanding what are the really deep sort of topics that no one else is talking about, no other competitor is talking about on Google, and we should write an article on that. And that builds further and deeper topical authority, which not only helps with ranking your service page on page one for the related competitive keywords, but it's also helping with surfacing your website for any related keywords related to that deep topic that only you have an article for and no one else does. So that's what happened yesterday. After I made the video, also tried to finish up some of the website's deliverables this morning and today. I was helping out. I was helping trying to tidy up another website that we're about to launch in the next few days. This is for another client. So just doing some meta titles, meta descriptions, some plugin work, just manual stuff, which I'm hoping I could offload to someone as I scale in 2025 as well. But for now, just need to get it done. So that's what happened yesterday and today. So yeah, also got a haircut. I can't. Yeah, you could probably see. I use the one fade on the left, on the right, and then ask them to trim it a little bit, but don't thin out the hair on the top because otherwise we'll start seeing my scalp. So that's what happened. Let's talk about the business lesson to myself. This was inspired, as always, by Alex Hormozi. So he has a quote, and I'm going to say the quote, but I'm also going to insert my own additional information on it just to help make the lesson more salient. So what he says is, what's the thing? What really smart but poor people can't handle is getting rich has less to do with intellect and how smart you are and creativity, and more to do with the courage and perseverance. You have to take risks that other people won't take, even though it will not make intellectual sense to take those risks because of the high likelihood of failure. You have to work while others wait, even though waiting may seem like the intellectually safe plan of action if you don't want to waste your resources and risk doing work for nothing. And keep going while others quit, even though it may seem intellectually wise to stop doing something if those actions aren't creating results yet. And also wait 10 years. So that's a really big lesson for me. And I think about it all the time because I remembered for the longest time, I always thought if you're smart, if you're book smart, if you get the highest score in high school and university and you become a lawyer or a doctor, then you'll be rich and you'll be set and you don't have to worry about anything. Unfortunately, that's not been the case, and I doubt it will ever be the case. It's probably what my parents believed 40, 30 years ago, and it was probably the case 40 years ago, but not anymore. And especially after working in corporate for 5 years and working around really smart people who are in a 9 to 5 grind and they don't have the life that I always was led to believe someone in that position with that intellect would have. It just made me realize that whatever I was doing, pursuing a smart intellectual, the safe option of a corporate life as a lawyer, no matter the prestige, I'm not going to get rich from it. I'm not going to achieve the goals that I have for myself and my partner and my future family to make sure that we don't have to struggle financially. Because let's be honest, especially in now this day and age, even the lawyers, even the doctors are struggling and finding it hard to get enough money to even purchase a home in Sydney, right? And it just further makes me realize that it's not about being smart that makes you rich. It's about being able to just take the risks and persevere and just be a little bit dumb enough to keep going and not be too smart for yourself in order for you to prematurely quit. Because another lesson that Alex always says is winners win because because they outlast everyone else. And so there's nothing special with outlasting. You don't need to do any special formula or tricks. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep going, and everyone else will fall by the wayside. And that's how you win. And there's two real life examples I want to cite. First is the father of a friend of my fiance. He was really, according to his own children, he was really dumb in school, and he was never the smartest kid. Never the smartest kid is actually probably putting it as an understatement. He was not a smart kid at all. So I don't know if he dropped out of school or not, but instead of doing what every other smart kid in high school did, which was go to university, get a degree, and get a 9 to 5 job in a professional services firm, he started a random ass cardboard box company in the early 2000s. Just a random ass cardboard box company, right? Just like that's not the most that's not something that will attract an intellectual person or a smart person to do. And that seems risky, right? A cardboard box company, there's so many risks involved. What if you fail? What if no one wants cardboard boxes? What if there's a bigger company that does cardboard boxes better than you and cheaper than you, right? There's all these smart reasons why you shouldn't do there's so many smart reasons why someone smart and intellectual would avoid creating a cardboard box company. Well, he he took that risk. He started a cardboard box company and he kept going and he didn't quit. He outlasted his competitors and now he's rich as fuck. And it's a big reminder to me. It's a personal real example, not just something that someone made up, like not a story that I just made up on a YouTube video, although that may seem the case for you watching this video. But for me, it's a personal story that I know for sure. I've been to his home. It's very, very nice. And he doesn't come across as the smartest person, which just shook me to my core the few years ago when I first met him because I always believe smart people win. Smart people get rich. Smart people get everything that they want. No, that's not the case. And a real life example I'm sure everyone will be able to relate to is think of all the Jake Pauls and the Kylie Jenners and the Kim Kardashians. Like they're not the traditionally smart people that you think they are, right? They're they probably dropped out of school or whatever. I don't know what Kim Kardashian even does. Um, Certainly she wasn't known for being an intelligent, intellectually, smart person, but they're rich as fuck. And yes, there's a lot to do with how their upbringing is and how much support they got from the parents. But there's also a lot of dumb people who didn't have a lot of support. Like, look at all the streamers who came from like really poor backgrounds and now they're rich as fuck. And they didn't actually do any of the traditionally intellectual things that someone smart would have done, right? And so there's all these dumb people in the world on YouTube or wherever on social media that are rich as hell. And that just goes to prove that you don't need to be smart. It's not about being smart and creative. It's about just having the courage to take the risk that everyone else is too scared or too smart to take. And then just be a little bit too dumb for your own good and just keep going. And then most times, hopefully, you will win. That's just a lesson I learned from Alex. I'm just going to keep following that until it works. If it doesn't, at least I have a story to tell. So that is the business learning. Let's talk about the main topic of the show, which is how long does SEO actually take to get results. So let me share my BIP show notes. You can get the link to the show notes in the description of the video. You only get one email. That email contains a link, and you don't get any email from me ever. I haven't set up any campaigns or anything like that, so you're not going to get spammed. You could save the BIP show notes as a URL link as a bookmark in your browser, and just you get access to all the show notes from here on out as well. So let's share my screen and we'll talk about the main topic. All right, here are the show notes. Again, you can get the link in the description of the video. So, how long does SEO take? This is a timeline purely from my experience working with multiple different law firm clients doing their SEO and getting their leads. How long does SEO take? I'm going to talk about two main results. First is actual SEO results, which is like traffic, visitors, increase in traffic, all that stuff, and rankings and all that. And then the second result I'll be talking about would be the actual leads. How many leads you get, and how quickly can you get them, and the volume of the leads. How early does that come? Because I'm sure that's the main reason why you're doing SEO, right? Otherwise, you can go to Google Ads, you can go to Facebook Ads. So those are the two main things that I'll be talking about. For me, getting results comes down to two main stages, two main parts. First part is doing the actual website, making sure that it is absolutely optimized for search engine as well as conversion rates. So SEO and CRO, just making sure that that website is absolutely optimized to the max for both of them. I normally offer this as a free value add where I fully redesign, rewrite all the pages on all the websites, create all the different service pages, no matter how many service pages there are. I think I've done websites with like 20 to 25 service pages. And then setting up the plugins. So that will then include the building, right? The WordPress setup, creating the pages, creating all the templates, setting up the plugins, launching the website, right? So making the website live, submitting it for indexing, doing speed optimization with all these different plugins that we have. And then that entire process of creating the website and having it from day one to launch would take around 4 to 6 weeks. So minimum 4 to 6 weeks of no results because you're redesigning the website. Once the website has been launched and indexed, so let's just say from week 6 onwards, you can actually start getting some SEO results quite quickly from that. So let's just say you launch on week 6, you can start getting results from like week 8, right? So 2 weeks after your website launches, you can start getting some SEO results. So some traffic to your service pages. This primarily only applies for service pages for very niche slash low competition keywords and service pages and service offerings and practice areas. So having a service area, so having a service page for a type of service that your clients will have, or will have a need for, but not many of your competitors have a separate service page for. So that is where you can start getting some early SEO wins, some early results. Where now that there is a page dedicated specifically to this very niche service or practice area that your potential leads and clients can start seeing on Google when they're Googling for that particular service, And that's when you can start seeing some early SEO results. So as early as 8 weeks from day one, right? From day one, where you where you have to start building the website. So 8 weeks on, so around 2 months. Again, this is if it takes 1.5 months to actually create the website. If it takes 4 weeks to create and build and launch the website, then results will start maybe 2 weeks after you launch the website. So 6 weeks onwards. And obviously, if your website is already beautiful, already optimized for SEO, and already optimized for CRO, then you just need to create some additional service pages. Make sure they're up and running. If that takes 1 week, then maybe it takes 2 weeks after that. So 3 weeks from day one, right? To start seeing some SEO optimized, start seeing some SEO results. Again, this only applies for service pages and home pages where the keywords and the services that they're offering and targeting are very niche and perhaps probably very low competition. But regardless, there is a need for those services if we are creating a service page for it, and so people will be finding it. In terms of leads, so the results from getting, so in terms of getting results in terms of leads, again, as soon as your website starts ranking on page one, as soon as your service page starts ranking on page one, that's when you'll start getting leads. Depending on the volume, depending on the search volume and just how niche that particular service that you are offering, which is ranking on page one after you launch your website, the number of leads will vary from one a week or 2 a week or one every 2 weeks, right? Because there's going to be like a billion different leads coming in every day for traffic fines, for traffic law, but that's high competition, right? Whereas if we're talking about a service offering, a service page offering legal services to set up a money remittance service for foreign jurisdiction companies, that's very very bloody niche, right? The fact that you have a service page ranking for that is amazing, or page one, that's amazing, but not many people are going to be googling that every day, right? So maybe once every 2 weeks there might be someone googling it and they might click through to your link and become a lead. And so theoretically, results in terms of leads can start as soon as you start ranking on page one for Google and start getting people to actually visit that service page. So again, if the website if the website is launched on week 6 and you start ranking for some service pages that are very low competition and a very low volume from week 8, then from week 8 onwards, theoretically, that's when you can start getting leads. And that's been the case for my law firm clients as well. It's as soon as you start ranking on page one, you start getting leads. Obviously, it's going to be very low volume leads at the beginning because you're ranking for very low niche, very niche, very low competition, a very low uh, search volume keywords. But you will be getting leads as long as your website is optimized to convert site visitors to leads. So stage 2 and part 2 is writing and publishing content every single month. This does not include a backlinks building campaign. We don't do backlink building campaigns normally, especially in the first 6 months, probably in the first 8 months, really. And so, part 2, you have to write and publish a good amount of articles every single month consistently, every single month. And the number of articles will depend on what your competitors are doing. Your highly ranking competitors. If your competitors are writing 20 articles a month, you can't just write 20 articles a month and expect to overtake them in the rankings and get more leads from them. That's just you keeping up, right? You need to double it. You need to do more than them. So if they're doing 20, you got to do at least 30. If they're doing 5, you can do maybe 10 or 15, right? As long as you are publishing more articles than them every single month, there will be a time when when your the amount of articles that you produce will actually increase. It will actually overtake them, and you will have a larger base of content on your website compared to your competitor, which means more topical authority, which means your service pages will start ranking for the higher competitive keywords. So your articles will start ranking around 3 to 5 weeks after being published. This is on the basis of you writing articles every single month. And the frequency and the number of articles is way more. It is a lot more than your competitors. So for us, we normally do around 30 to 20 articles every single month per law firm client. And the articles really start ranking number one 3 to 5 weeks after they've been published because they need to be picked up by Google in the index. Google needs to assess the quality. Google needs to start servicing them to the search users as a result. So it does take some time. But to get SEO results for the articles, only 3 to 5 weeks after publishing them. In terms of the service pages and the home pages that you really want to get ranking and really want to get ranking for the competitive keywords, for the low to mid competition keywords, it will take like 4 to 6 months to get the service pages for which the articles are related to start ranking on page one. And for the mid to high competition keywords, it will take around nine. It will take at least 9 months, minimum 9 months for the high competition keywords. Bloody like 10 months, probably 11 months. It's going to take a long time, and particularly a lot of articles. I actually published maybe 10 days ago, I published not 10 days, like maybe 2 weeks ago, I published a case study, a very short video case study on a law firm client who wanted to rank number one, at the very least, when they want to rank on page one for small buying business lawyers, purchase business lawyers, selling a business lawyers, business sale lawyers, any sort of legal service relating to the purchase and sales of businesses. And we achieved that goal within 9 months. Not within 9 months. It took us 9 months to get them to page one for those search terms. And it took us writing like 90 articles, however many in the case study, I can't remember, like 70 to 90 articles just dedicated to that service of purchasing and selling businesses, right? 70, 90 articles to get them to rank on page one for that mid to high competition, for those mid to high competition keywords. And that's the reality with my experience with the law firms that I work with. And in terms of leads, the number of leads, it just gets better from the first lead that you get once your first service page starts ranking. So every single month, every single month as you publish more and more articles, there'll be more and more leads coming through, and and so in terms of how soon you'll get results in terms of leads, it really is just, as I said earlier in part one, your you start getting leads as soon as your pages start ranking. So if your page starts ranking 8 weeks after the start of the SEO campaign, then that's when you start getting leads. So yeah, and the leads will just keep increasing as long as you keep writing more articles every single month. So hopefully that video was helpful. I try to keep it tight. I try to keep it focused. You can get the show notes here. The today's show notes are pretty bulky, pretty beefy. Get the show notes in the description of the video, and let's go out to some questions on my YouTube channel. Okay, so a few different questions today, different perspectives. Thanks so much for commenting again. Thank you for your answer. No questions today, sorry, but commenting for the algorithm. Thanks so much for commenting for the algorithm. Really appreciate it. I already left a comment because I've recorded this video once before already. Shout out on BRP14. Tech Flyer, you responded to the topical map video from yesterday, so you thought it was incredible. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you thought it was incredible. Um, Again, shouted you out in this in today's video. And then Ricky Shah, you responded to my question, my email, sorry, my day three, my BIP day three video on my AI agents. So, are the workflows available publicly? Unfortunately, they're not right now. I will make them public. I just got to figure out a good business case and how to best utilize these assets for me and my business. Because yeah, the workflows are really powerful, and I will make them available, but I just need to figure out how and when to do it. So yeah, thanks so much, Ricky, and shouted you out as well in BIP14. So that is it. That's all the video. That's all the questions and comments for today's video. If you made it this far, leave in the comments down below. Leave SEO results for the algo, if you can. That'll be amazing. And then I'll see you in tomorrow's video. So see you guys. Bye.